The 27th Legislative Assembly of Quebec was the Quebec, Canada provincial legislature that was elected in the 1962 Quebec general election. It sat for 6 sessions, from the 15th of January 1963 to the 11th of July 1963. From the 21st of August 1963 to the 23rd of August 1963. From the 14th of January 1964 to the 31st of July 1964. From the 21st of January 1965 to the 6th of August 1965. From the 22nd of October 1965 to the 23rd of October 1965. And from the 25th of January 1966 to the 18th of April 1966. The Liberal government led by Jean Lesage continued the quiet revolution reforms begun during its first mandate. The official opposition Union Nationale was led by Daniel Johnson, Sr. seats per political party. After the 1962 elections. Member list. This was the list of members of the Legislative Assembly of Quebec that were elected in the 1962 election. Other elected MLAs. Other MLAs were elected in by-elections during this mandate. Eric William Kirins, Quebec Liberal Party, Montreal Notre-Dame de Grace. September 25, 1963. Francis O'Farrell, Quebec Liberal Party, Dorchester. October 5, 1964. Jacques Bernier, Quebec Liberal Party, Matane. October 5, 1964. Pierre-Willy Malte, Quebec Liberal Party, Saguenay. October 5, 1964. Claude Wagner, Quebec Liberal Party, Montreal-Verdun. October 5, 1964. Jean-Guy Trépanier, Quebec Liberal Party, St. Maurice. January 18, 1965. Dennis Hardy, Quebec Liberal Party, Terrebonne. January 18, 1965. Cabinet Ministers. Prime Minister and Executive Council President. Jean Lesage. Vice President of the Executive Council. Georges-Émile Lapalme. 1962–1964. Paul Guérin-Lejoie. 1964–1966. Agriculture and Colonization. Alcide Corsi. Labour. René Hamel. 1962–1963. Carrier Fortin. 1963–1966. Public Works. René Saint-Pierre. Cultural Affairs. Georges-Émile Lapalme. 1962–1964. Pierre Laporte. 1964–1966. Family and Social Welfare. Emmeline Lafrance. 1962–1965. René Lévesque. 1965–1966. Youth. Paul Guérin-Lejoie. 1962–1964. Education. Paul Guérin-Lejoie. 1964–1966. Health. Alphonse Couturier. 1962–1965. Eric William Kirins. 1965–1966. Lands and Forests. Bonar Arsenault. 1962. Lucien Cliché. 1962–1966. Fisheries and Hunting. Gerard D. Levesque. 1962–1963. Tourism. Hunting and Fishing. Lionel Bertrand. 1963–1964. Gerard Cournoyer. 1964–1965. Alphonse Couturier. 1965–1966. Natural Resources. René Lévesque. 1962–1966. Gaston Binet. 1966. Roads. Bernard Pinard. Transportation and Communications. Gerard Cournoyer. 1962–1964. Marie-Claire Kirkland. 1964–1966. Municipal Affairs. Lucien Cliché. 1962. Pierre Laporte, 1962–1966. Federal Provincial Affairs. Jean Lesage, Industry and Commerce. André Rousseau, 1962. Gerard D. Levesque, 1962–1966. Attorney General. Georges-Émile Lapalme, 1962–1963. René Hamel, 1963–1964. Claude Wagner, 1964–1965. Justice. Claude Wagner, 1965–1966. Solicitor General. Claude Wagner, 1964–1966. Provincial Secretary. Lionel Bertrand, 1962–1963. Bonar Arsenault, 1963–1966. Finances. Jean Lesage. Revenue. Paul Earle, 1962–1963. Jean Lesage, 1963. Eric William Kierans, 1963–1966. State Ministers. Carrier Fortin, 1962–1963. Marie-Claire Kirkland, 1962–1964. Gaston Binet, 1965–1966. Albert Morissette, 1965–1966. Gerard Cournoyer, 1965–1966. Emmeline Lafrance, 1965–1966. New electoral districts. A major electoral map reform took place in 1965. The changes were effective starting in the 1966 election. Several ridings were also renamed. Parts of Laval were split into new ridings including a Huntsark and Fabre. Parts of Bourget were split to form Bourassa, Ollier and La Fontaine. Montreal Notre-Dame de Grace was renamed Notre-Dame de Grace and parts of it were split to form Darcy McGee. Montreal Jean Mance was renamed Jean Mance and parts of it were split to form Dorian and Gouin. Dubuc was formed from parts of Chicoutimi. Parts of Jacques Cartier were split to form Marguerite Bourgeoise, Saint Laurent and Robert Baldwin. Montreal Sainte-Anne was renamed Sainte-Anne. Montreal Saint-Henri was renamed Saint-Henri. Montreal Saint-Jacques was renamed Saint-Jacques. Montreal Sainte-Marie was renamed Sainte-Marie. Westmount Saint-Georges was renamed Westmount. Montreal St. Louis was renamed St. Louis. Montreal Verdun was renamed Verdun. Montreal Laurier was renamed Laurier. Montreal Outremont was renamed Outremont. Tyon was formed from parts of Chambly. Quebec West was renamed Louis-Hébert. Quebec Est was renamed Linois-Loup. Quebec County was renamed Chauveau. Quebec Centre was renamed Jean Talon. Jonquière-Kenegami was renamed Jonquière. 1962 election results. List of historical cabinet ministers.